In you guys, I am Charity, aka NiceComps, and we are going to get the sucker going. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to fast forward here just a little bit while I get everything up and running for all of the places. By the way, welcome you guys. Happy Wednesday. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a busy day. We are photographing clothing today. Just confirming everything. And here we go. Alrighty. If you guys haven't had an opportunity to follow me and you're finding me, feel free to do so. Or don't. Your prerogative. I'm going to try to not be too loud today. I've got a sick kid sleeping in the next room. So let's see. Crazy Karazmalkai. I don't think I'm ever going to say your name right. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that. Every time I see it, I'm like, crazy something. But I'm happy you're here nonetheless. All right. So we're going to do photographing today. We're going to do photographing of clothing. I think actually it's all shirts today. So Justin brought me a box out of the garage, and whatever box he brings me is what we end up doing photographs of. So if you guys are resellers, welcome. Lil Pickles is here. If you guys have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, please feel free to ask in the chat. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, IG, or FB. It looks like our resolution is better over there today, so that's fantastic. Still trying to figure out what is going on. Why sometimes our stream is super clear and other times it is not. And can you guys hear me okay? I have the mic set up. I think I have it set up correctly. I don't know. It's always an adventure. My actual name is Logan. I'm a female though, FYI. Okay, cool. Hey, Logan. I'll try to remember that. I love that name. I think that's an amazing name as a girl too. That's so cool. Hey girl, good to see you. Hey Roxy, welcome in you guys. So yeah, we're gonna do some photographing today, get some listings up. I don't know about you all, but it's getting close to Christmas and like I am excited to work, but I also have like that Christmas, like I just want to sit around and drink hot cocoa and watch Christmas movies, but no. We need to work. We need to get some work done. So we're going to get some work done together today. So let me get my little lanyard on here. Aaron's here. Welcome in, you guys. So a couple reminders, too, before we get started. Number one, I'm not going to be posting up the videos in the morning that tell y'all what time I'm coming on for the day because it was taking me like 20 minutes to do those videos and then get them cross-listed onto all the different platforms. And I was like, if I could get that 20 minutes back, I can just get so much more done in a day. So I'm not going to be doing those morning videos. I'm going to try to do more videos about like reselling and tips and stuff like that. I'd rather spend my time doing that and helping y'all out than just telling you when I'm going to be live. So I'm not going to be doing those anymore, but I am going to be putting up, just like I did today, the event. So whenever I'm going to go live, I will let you know ahead of time. I mean, I may spontaneously come on from time to time too, but if you go to my profile here, you will always see when my live event's going to be. So if you're on TikTok, you'll always see that. If you're on YouTube, then you'll see it on YouTube as like a pre-planned thing. Facebook and IG, you can't see it as much, so you just got to kind of hit or miss. Rebecca, good to see you today. Welcome in, guys. So that's reminder number one. Reminder number two is I'm not going to be doing any more live shows as for Jamble for the rest of this year. And at the beginning of the year, instead of doing a couple Jamble shows, I'm going to be doing whatnot shows. WN, as you're supposed to say on here. So if you guys go over to WN, cute little logo, you can find me over there. So I'm just NiceComps. It's exactly the same as I am everywhere else. And I would just appreciate the follows. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. And then I have my first ever WN show on the 7th of January. I know that's still kind of far off, but if you get an opportunity to go in and bookmark it, I'm going to be doing a Smile Amazon gift card giveaway. We're going to be doing t-shirts starting at $1. I actually found two today. Where did I put that? I found this one here, which is like a super banger. So this is going to be going into the show. This is August Burns Red. I don't know if anyone knows who that is. This is a really nice t-shirt. And then I also came across a really sick, amazing Under Oath t-shirt, which is really cool. So that's going to go in there. And then I have like, I don't know, 50 something other t-shirts going in there. So make sure, and they're all going to start at pretty much $1. I may have a couple bangers in there that I start at like $5 or something just because they're like $60 t-shirts. But if you go over to Whatnot here, just follow me, like I said, and I'll follow you back. Logan says I got a bookmark already. Yay! Bet Thompson, thanks. Sophia's Heart, good to see you. All right, guys, let's get this kicked off here. So we are going to be doing we're doing all shirts today, mainly men's. Actually, no, just kidding. All men's. And it's going to be a lot of like dress shirts. So like I said, guys, I have an entire garage of hoard right now. So whatever box Justin brings me is what we wind up listing for the day. And today it looks like it's men's t-shirts. So the first thing we're starting off with is this little Tommy Hilfiger. I'm going to say this feels like a 2018. Let's take a look and see if the tag's on here. Just the QR. Yeah, this feels like a 2018 or a 2019. It feels pretty current. Good to see you, Betty. Is it Betty or Bet? So if it's Betty, do B-E-T-T-Y. If it's Bet, just do B-E-T. Just so I can know. I know that seems silly, but it's like, I don't want to call you the wrong name. Okay, so let's get this hooked up here. We're going to get it all smoothed out. And I have something on here I wanted to experiment with. Now, I've never used one of these before, which I know seems kind of weird. I was at H-E-B yesterday and I saw this in the checkout and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot they even made those. So I have never tried one of these. Number one question, has anyone tried one of these before? Betty, most often. Okay, good. Because that's what it seems like it should be to me, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. So has anybody ever used one of these before? These little Tide pins? I have not. So I figured I had this shirt that's got like the little spot on it. So I figured we could try it together, but I think I need some advice on how to use this. So has anybody used one of these before? What am I supposed to do with this thing? I literally probably threw out the instructions because that's what I do. Like, instructions, what are those for? So do you put it, ooh, made in the USA. Do I need to put something behind it? Is it gonna like stain the rest of the whole shirt? I don't know, we're gonna find out, guys. We're gonna do this together. We are doing this together. So let's see here. Here's the little stain. So I'll show you guys where the spot is. Now remember, in your listings, you don't ever want to use the word stain. You want to use like discoloration, spot, or smudge. Don't use stain. That's like a search engine murderer right there. No, it seems gimmicky and I'm cheap. Yeah, I'm going to try it, Erin, because I was like, it was on sale for like $2.60. So I was like, if I could use this and not have to use... Like, otherwise, normally what I do is I take a Q-tip and a little bit of bleach and I go in and, like, lightly dab. But it's just, like, I've ruined shirts doing that before. So I figured this is kind of an inexpensive Tommy shirt. So worst case scenario is that it, you know, messes it up or something. And it's like, well, whatever. I paid $1 for it at a garage sale. So I'm just going to see what happens here. And we're going to go with it. So it looks like I just... dab it on. Now, this might bleach all the stuff around it. I have no idea, you guys. I've never used this. Erin says it's probably the best thing ever. Maybe, I don't know. We're about to find out. So I just put a thing on there and we'll see what happens. Like I said, it may bleach the stuff around it. So, I probably should have read the instructions. This is what I do, you guys. I just pull stuff out and then I throw them away. Like, my husband will, like, unfold the directions and put them out and be like, oh, okay, we do this first and that first. And I'm just like, all right, remove excess from stain. Press tip onto stain to release desired amount. Rub tip gently around the stain to remove it. When necessary, add more liquid and continue rubbing. It doesn't say anything about, like, because it's mainly hydrogen peroxide. So it doesn't say anything about not touching other things with it. I don't know. We're about to find out. Is it bleach or just detergent? It's just like a detergent. I think it's, you know what I really think it is? I think, because I can feel it on my finger, I think it feels like, kind of like a hydrogen peroxide situation is what it feels like to me. So, you know how that, like, is anyone in your hairdresser? So I used to do hair, henceforth the scissors. And when you'd accidentally like touch bleach or peroxide to your hands, like developer, you'd get that little tingle. That's what it feels like to me, which it makes me feel like that's probably pretty much what it is. Bria, good to see you. Mom's buying more. Mom's always buying more. Mom's always buying more. Hey, Melissa. I don't know. So we're about to find out. Tied on the go pin, live review. Here we go. All right. First thing we got here is a little yellow Tommy. Yellow, not the greatest color for resale, but you know what? You give me a t-shirt, you give me one of these for 50 cents at a garage sale, I'm going to put it up even if it takes a minute to sell. Now, the nice thing this time of year about this kind of stuff is you can put like fall, which is like people still think fall, even though technically it's winter. People think fall, and then I'll usually put like holiday, family gathering, family dinner, but then I'll also do like spring down on my keywords just in case it sits for a while, and career, business casual, those kind of things. Like, so a lot of times down on my keywords, I'll put a few different things, assuming it's going to sell quickly, but also assuming it may take a minute to sell. That way it's just kind of covered on both bases. Mom says hi. Well, yes, I know. Man, if I could just keep myself from going to garage sales, I wouldn't have the hoard, but I literally can't. I'll be laying in bed Friday night and I'm like, I don't really need to go to the garage sale tomorrow. I don't really need to go. And then I'll literally be up at like 5 in the morning and I'm like, I'm going to go to the garage sale. Like, I can't control it. And it was great on Saturday because it was like super rainy outside. So there was nobody out. And I went to a community sale. Now, at this community sale, there wasn't like a ton of people doing it just because like it's obviously winter and it was rainy, and in Texas it rains and people are like freaked out because they don't know what to do with it. So I didn't do like, it wasn't like there was a million places, but I did hit, I think like 15 sales. I think I spent like, I don't know, maybe like around $100 or something like that. And I got some pretty good stuff. The one thing I'm really excited about was the first sale I went to. Oh, it was kind of a heartbreaker for a second because I got there and I was like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, it's okay. And you could tell that this woman was like, had been like crying, I think, and having like a bad morning. And I was like, are you okay? She said, yeah, we just lost my daughter-in-law a couple days ago. And so I'm just having a really hard time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, yeah, you know, she fought her battle and it was tough. And she's like, I wasn't going to do the sale, but then I decided I need to do it because I've just got stuff I need to get rid of. I need to get this out. And I think it was like cathartic for her. And so I felt really terrible for her, but she had all these bolts of fabric there. Like, and I'll do a video on it. It's really cool. It's like all these bolts of all these professional sports teams, like that you would make like your own quilts and stuff. If you had like a Houston Astros fan or something, like you'd make your own blankets and stuff. And I got all this huge amount of fabric for like $20, I think. And 1 yard of it, 1 yard of one of the bolts, and I think there's like 7 bolts, was $16.99. 1 yard. And each of these has to have like 10 yards on them. So it's like a grotesque amount of money. So I'm super excited. Virgo, good to see you. SNN Finds, good to see you. Chica, Love Fat Guys here. Gabby J, happy to see you. Hey guys. All right. So I'm just, there's a little crease here. So these are my little tricks. I'll just take a little tape and kind of fold that over just to flatten it and then take it out because I obviously missed it when I was steaming. I also told you guys I'd give you an opinion on what I thought about doing these close-up pictures on all of my men's shirts like Surfs does. And so far, so good. I would say 50% of them are selling, but I still have 50% of my older ones selling. So it's hard to kind of like be fairsy on which one I think is better because I don't think I have enough of the close-up ones, but I'm going to keep doing the close-ups because I think eventually that'll be the majority of my closet and I'll be able to get a little bit of a better idea. Dizzy says, surprised to see you. So yeah, so I was chatting with Dizzy earlier. So my son got here yesterday, which I'm like obviously insanely excited about. He got here, we came home, he got like, you know, unpacked and everything, and we went to the grocery store. And so it's really interesting. Ever since he was a little boy, whenever he's gonna get sick or he's sick, he always wants like really weird foods. I'm the same way. And he was like picking some stuff that I was like, it's not stuff you would normally get. And I didn't think anything of it. We got home and we were playing some video games and he's like, I'm not feeling so good. And I was like, really? And he's like, no, I actually think I don't feel good. And he's like, I think I might have a temperature. And I was like, what? So I go over and feel him and I'm like, you absolutely have a temperature. So I went and got the thermometer. He's got like a 101.5 fever last night. He's still sleeping today. So I feel so bad. What's insane about this is last year when he came down for Christmas, Justin got sick, and Justin got like kind of dangerously sick last year. Like it wasn't the CVIDs, but he got like super sick, and so he was out the whole trip. Like he literally didn't get a chance to hang out with us. And now this time I see it's sick, so I was like, well, he's sick, and I'm just gonna work then, and I'm just gonna take my zinc and my vitamin C and all of the herbs and stuff that I know, because I was raised by an herbal remedy woman, so I'm gonna be taking all that, and hopefully I won't get it. So I think he was waiting to get here until he was with his mom, and he's like, I don't feel good. I was like, whoa. I was like, and the thing you guys should know about my kid is like, he's that person that like, he'll troop through anything. And what I mean by that is if he's not feeling good, he'll just be like, oh, I'm fine. Like he's always been like that ever since he was a baby. He'd be like, I feel okay. I'm like, Isaiah, you have chicken pox. He's like, no, it just itches a little bit. Like that's literally who he is. And so for him to be like, wow, I really don't feel good. I'm like, no. And then of course a fever. I'm like, yeah. So any hoodle. I'm working, house is quiet, we're gonna get some stuff done. Hey Heidi. All right, so let's get a picture here. So we're gonna check the exposure here on this one. I may bring it up just a little bit. And then let's take a look and see how that looks. Yeah, so like I said, for my opening pictures now, I'm really kind of into this whole like close up for my polos. I don't necessarily like it on I've tried it on some other stuff, and I didn't necessarily like it as much. But on these like polo shirts, I do. I think I need to turn my brightness down. I'm going to show you guys why messing with your exposure is so important. I'm going to show you guys this in a second here. Let's take a look. So yeah, so I've been doing kind of this kind of situation, and I actually really like it. So if you look at this picture here, you can see it's like a little bit more yellow. This one, it's like super washed out. So that's why it's so important to mess around with your exposure a little bit until you find something that you like. Thanks for the likes, you guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so we got our front one. Now let's go ahead and do some sleeve action and some shoulder action here and see what we got. So this is a men's 2XL, and that's the other reason I picked this up. Anytime you show me anything that's a 2XL or higher, I am 99% of the time going to pick it up. Because those bigger sizes like 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, they don't make as many of those as they do like the larges and the extra larges. And so because there's fewer on the market, they always sell better for me. Like I can have a large shirt sit forever, but an extra large shirt or a 2XL or a 3XL, it'll go like in 50% of the time, every single time. All right, and I'm not seeing any flaws here. And then I'm also getting brave and trying something new. So one of the things I've been really doing this last couple weeks is, I don't know if you guys, I've talked about it before, but I think it's been a long time since I talked about it. You guys, have you ever heard of me talk about the compound effect? I don't know if anybody in here has. It's a book that I love. It's actually probably my favorite book I ever read. I read it like, oh my gosh, maybe 12 or 13 years ago. And it really changed my mindset on how I do projects. And I really give it a lot of credit for being successful in marketing and even successful in doing reselling. And the book talks a lot about how, things stack up. It's the penny a day kind of idea, but on like a totally another level. It's just kind of a mindset changer. It's by a guy named Darren Hardy. Anyways, I've been reading it again. I read it like every couple years, I read it just to kind of like refresh my mind. Every time I read it, I seem to get something different out of it, probably because I'm just like at a different time in my life. Like, I don't know, have you guys ever had that happen where you watch a movie or you read a book and you're at a different season of your life, and so you pick different things up from it? So this particular book, every time I read it, I just pick something really different up from it. And one of the things I picked up pretty heavily this time that I've been reading it is the idea of time budgeting. So for me, having like ADHD, I'm all over the place all the time. It's really hard for me to like do a task because I get sidetracked so easily and I don't even realize it's happened. One of the things that happens with me is I get an idea in my mind and then I'll just start doing it without thinking like, oh, is this a good time? Is this a good time waster? Is this a good time saver? Is this a good time helper? I'll just do something and I'll be like, I'll budget it into my schedule, and it's like I didn't need to do it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyways, so one of the things that I've been really kind of taking to heart the last like And make sure you guys too are also getting like the percentages of like how much cotton and stuff. And if there's extra buttons, I always take pictures of those too, because people want to know that when they buy something. So one of the things that I think that really helped me in the beginning of doing clothing was I would write down the size measurements of every item that I did. The reason I would do that is because when I'd go to list it or I'd go to cross list it, I'd have to go back through my photos and I'd have to make them bigger. And it took me a lot of time at the beginning because I wasn't experienced whipping through my photos like I am now, right? So I just kind of was doing that. And I've been doing that for the last like over a year now of writing down every single one of my things when I take pictures of them. Well, it's gotten to the point now where I'm able to flip through my pictures pretty fast, and I'm able to tell what the size measurement is just looking at the picture without really looking at it, because my mind is and my brain is so used to how my yardstick looks. So I have been finding myself writing down the stats in the book, but not necessarily looking at the book when I went to list. So then it was like, well, why am I writing this stuff down now if I don't need to? So I'm trying an experiment. We will see. I will keep you posted. I'm going to try doing all of this without writing down the measurements and just use my photos because, like I said, I think I'm faster with that. The only thing I'm going to make sure I definitely still do is taking a picture of the SKU number. That thing saves me on literally a weekly basis, because in your iPhone, you're able to go in and search. Like if you can't find something or you can't find a number or you think it's close to like a number, for example, let's say that I had mislabeled the SKU or forgot to put the SKU in eBay for this. I would then be able to go in though and be like, okay, it's Tommy, so the TOMMY is going to pop up on my screen. Or if I can remember, like, okay, let's see, I think I took those like last week or something. I was at like number 1300. If I just type 1300 in, it'll pull up all the other clothes or the shirt that was 1300, and it'll tell me kind of in the time frame that I did it. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it's saved me a ton of times. So I am making sure 150,000% that I still write down the SKU number. So I will keep you guys posted and let you know if it goes well. If it doesn't go well, I'm going to go back to writing the numbers. But I think if I can save myself that time, figure it takes me 30 seconds to 20 to 30 seconds each item. Well, if I'm doing 20 items, that's like 5 to 6 minutes saved. 5 to 6 minutes saved 6 times a week is 30 minutes a week. That's like hours and hours every year that I may or may not need. So we'll see what happens. Daredevil, good to see you. Bailey's here. Tracy's in the house. Okay, next thing we've got here is a Ralph Lauren. This is kind of an interesting Ralph Lauren too. So it's a classic fit, but what's kind of cool about this one is it has almost like a pinpoint flannel cotton feel to it. And if any of y'all have ever listed like 1980s pinpoint shirts, it has that feel, but then it also has this really interesting flannel feel to it. And what makes that cool is not only will I be able to use all of my preppy tags on it, you know, preppy prep, preppy style, you know, all of those kind of things, but I'm also going to be able to add in like flannel, grunge, cabin, core, cabin, lumberjack, so on and so forth. So putting that up there, and here we go. So we're going to get our little sides in there, make sure all the buttons, and that's the other thing I've been doing too. When I'm at garage sales now, I was really bad about checking to make sure all the buttons were on shirts. I was finding myself getting these shirts that was missing 1 or 2 buttons, and I would love to say that I'm going to sit down and take the time to always sew buttons on, but if it's a $12 shirt, it's really worth my time. I don't know, so it winds up usually just getting redonated. All right, let's get a picture of this here and see how it looks. All right, that's gonna look good. And then we're gonna do this for our opening photo. Looks great. And then let's get some measurements. Thanks for all the likes, you guys, too. I really appreciate it. That makes me feel good. Oh, and then I forgot our third reminder, too, is make sure that y'all are following me over on YouTube. You know, I love being here on TikTok. However, my only qualm on TikTok is that Well, you know, there's always a couple things that drive you a little nuts. I think the first thing that drives me nuts is constantly having to do that puzzle piece. Second of all, thing that drives me nuts is constantly having people try to auto come into this live, even though I have it set up to not do that. Somehow it's still, it has people trying to come in all the time. And then the third thing is, I just have to like really censor what I say all the time. Like, especially when I'm giving you all advice. If I'm trying to tell you about a certain brand or a resale thing or a location to get something, I'm constantly having to edit what I'm saying in order to not get like restrizioni. I can't even say that word. So I think I'm going to be coming into this new year. I think I really want to focus on doing more and more stuff over on YouTube, just because A, we don't know what's going to happen with TT. And B, it's like, I just feel like a little bit more free over there, if that makes any sense. So don't know if you have a cheese New Year, but their chicken tortilla soup is my, oh God, I don't know. I don't know if I do, but that sounds delicious, Dizzy Karma. Oh, speaking of smell, oh my gosh, when Isaiah got here last night, like Isaiah loves when I bake stuff, because I don't like to cook necessarily, but I do love to bake. And so he gets here last night and he's like, oh, there's some bananas on the counter that seem like they're a little ripe. Oh, wouldn't it be interesting if Mim was to cook some banana bread? So I made banana bread this morning. I got it baking right now. I can smell it. It smells good. Hey, nurse, good to see you. I'm like, speaking of food, Carmen over on YT says, I just take a photo of the SKU on the bag and add it to the listing pictures at the end. And that's smart. I have seen other people do that, Carmen, too. And I think that's a great idea too. For me, a lot of times I don't have the photos. I do for like the dress shirts and stuff. I don't like fill up all 8 of them, but on Depop I can only get 8 pictures up. So a lot of times like on my graphic tees or my pants, I run out of photos on that one. But like for my shirts, I only have like 5 pictures. That's not a bad idea. Afternoon, Jay-licious. Good to see you. Dizzy says, haha. I'm like, now you got me thinking about like tortilla soup. They're making me hungry. See what you guys do to me. Give us your recipe, please. Tell me it's easy. Aaron, this is how I bake. Okay, I need some flour and I know I need some eggs. I know I need some, guys, I bake like I do everything else. It is haphazard. It's insane. There is no recipe. It just kind of happens. My sourdough recipe is different every single time. Like, I just kind of throw stuff together. What I do like about this banana bread recipe that I have like conjured up in my head is that it uses sour cream in it. And I always put a tiny bit of buttermilk in it. And I know that sounds weird, but it gives the banana bread like a tangy taste to it rather than just being like overly sweet. So baking is very scientific, yes, unless you bake like me and it's like a little bit of this. That looks good. Toss a little bit of that in there. Hey, Brian, good to see you. Hey, Nicole. All right, let's get on to our next one. Oh, nope, just kidding. We're not done yet. See, this is how my brain happens. You guys, I'm telling you. It's a blessing and a curse to have like a busy brain. It's like all the projects around my house are like half done. Okay, if any of y'all have ADHD or know anybody that does, do any of you guys leave your cabinet doors open all the time? Oh my gosh, if I didn't know it was me, I would think like the ghost of Christmas past lives in my house, because I will go in the kitchen and I will like do whatever I'm doing and not think about it. And then I'll come back like 2 hours later and it's like 8 cabinets are open. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally left all those cabinets open. Big E, good to see you. Charity Science in the kitchen. Yep, it's a hot mess. Dizzy says all the time. Karen, good to see you. Hey, Heather Tracy. All right, it's not just me then. That's got to be like an ADD, HD, spicy brain situation somehow. That's got to have something to do with it, because that can't just be like a me thing. That's got to be an other people's thing too. Oh my gosh, that and like throwing away instructions before I read them. There's a whole bunch of different things, but you know, we keep it interesting for sure. We keep it interesting for sure. All right, let's see. Did we get a picture of that? We did. Yes, perfect. All right, and then we'll put it in the bag and take a picture of that, as suggested by Carmen over on the YT. Did your son make it in okay, says Jay-Licious. He did. He made it in great. I was telling everybody at the beginning of this, unfortunately, last night, like, he was playing video games and he looks over at me and he's like, I'm not feeling so hot. And I was like, uh-oh. And he's like, I don't feel so good. I think I have a fever. And so I wound up taking his temperature. It was like 101.5. So, yeah. So he's sleeping right now. And hopefully, he'll be okay. I mean, last Christmas, like I was saying, last Christmas, Justin was sick. So it's like, no. So I personally myself am cooking up. I have a golden seal recipe that I cook up. I don't know if anyone knows what golden seal is, but this is like an old family trick that's been passed down for like 4 generations in my house. So what I do is I take golden seal caplets you put them in a little bit of water, and then you put it on the stove. So I usually use like about a half a cup of water and then like 3 caplets of the golden seal. I put it on the stove in a pan, and I put it on low, and I let it come to like a steam. It comes to or I put it on like 3, and I let it come to like a steam and like the slightest simmer. And then you bring it down to a 1, and you let it steep on the stove for about 20 minutes. It'll make this really super concentrated, almost like green mud looking stuff. Now, the taste of it for most people is horrendous. For me, I'm used to it because I grew up with it. But so I just take like a little shot of that every day, along with zinc and vitamin C. And I'm usually able to fight most stuff off doing that. But we'll see. So I know what we used golden seal for back in the day. Same thing. I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, that's it. Golden seal also is, I mean, guys, it's good for so many things. It's good for like UTIs, any sort of bladder issues, like infections. Like, it's just good for a lot of stuff. So, I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything. Hey, putting that disclaimer up there. But it's just an old family recipe that we've used. So I'm going to cook that up today and start getting that, in him, along with some probiotics and stuff. Golden seal was used in past. Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that. That's great. I didn't know anything about that. So yeah, I mean, we've just always used it in our household for like any sort of like, sickness, illnesses, infections, any of that kind of stuff. It's always worked really well. So when my son was little and when I was little, we used to get really, really, really bad chronic ear infections. Both of our gestation tubes are like slightly wonky, meaning that our gestation tubes that's why our hearing is like a little funky. We both talk really loud. Like when he was little, I'd have to go like this for volume control until you like learn, anyways, long story. So we used to get chronic ear infections. And when I was a little kid, they wanted to put tubes in my ears. And my mom was like, she had just seen so many nightmare stories about that. So she didn't want to do that. And then when Isaiah was a baby, they wanted to do the same thing. And I was like, I want to give it a try. I want to try to heal it the way that my mom healed mine. And it worked. So again, giant medical disclaimer, but hey, worked for me. So Green Thrifty, good to see you. Okay, so we're going to do our close-up photo as our opening photo. And then back. Now, I was trying for a minute to like place the sleeve up there. It's just extra work, and I don't know that it's necessary. So I'm trying it without now. My son's had tubes twice. I came in late. What worked? Oh, golden seal. So when he was really little and when I was really little, I would do, whenever he was starting to get an earache, I would do golden seal like 3 times a day for about 4 days. And then also in the ears, I used to do a mixture that I always mixed up of witch's hazel, garlic, and mullein. And that's what he'd put in his ears, and I put a cotton ball in there. That's what my mom did for me. That's what I did for him. And neither of us ended up getting the tubes because other people in our family had got them. And they work great for some people. Everyone in our family did not have a good experience with it. So my mom and I wanted to both kind of avoid that, and it worked out. So mine never had earaches, just very little hearing. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, see, ours is like a minor defect in like how it is actually in the ear. Like they're just slightly, I don't remember exactly what it is, but they're like slightly like a percentage off or something. And so they don't drain properly. And when you're a little kid, you don't know how to like drain your ears. So I think it's even harder. Plus your ears are like so tiny. So anyways, okay, let's get this measured out here. And so this is an interesting Ralph Lauren. This is another one. So this is definitely pinpoint cotton. Now, if you don't know what pinpoint cotton is, it's usually like, it's how they used to do it before they had the machines now. So technically you can't call this pinpoint because pinpoint was when they just did single needle stitching. They don't do that anymore with how things are manufactured. They haven't done that with single stitch knitting for a long time. At least Ralph Lauren hasn't. So this is made to look like a pinpoint cotton, which just gives it this really unique look. If you guys go to Google Images and you search pinpoint cotton like dress shirts, you'll see what I'm talking about. So this has that look, although it's not. But what's really interesting about this one, and I'm going to show you guys the pony on this one. This one really caught my eye at the garage sale. Fortunately, I mean, I only paid $1 for it, so it was great. Like I said, I don't like to do yellow a lot, but it's an XL, but more importantly, the pony on this one is really, really, really unique. It's the first one of these I've ever come across, and I'll show you here in just a second. So this is going to be like, I would say this is probably a post Y2K. It does have, it doesn't have like the button on the back, which is always what screams to me on Ralph Lauren as like late 90s, early 2000s. So I'm going to say that this is probably like a 2012, maybe 2013. I could be off on that. Sometimes they trick me with this whole trying to make things look retro again. Although, I mean, it is an old Ralph Lauren tag, so I can tell on that one. DW! What is good? Good to see you. Maybe happy to see you. Okay, so yeah, so look at this pony, you guys. Here, I gotta move my coffee over. We'll have a drink first. All right, so check out this pony on this one. It has like, it's like embroidered, and the actual pony itself is brown. And then the jockey's got the white pants. He's got his own blue polo on. And then even his hat, his skin, his polo stick, all of it, his arm, all of that is stitched in different colors. It's the first time I've ever seen one like this on a shirt ever. I've never seen this. And if you look at the tag, this is clearly an older Ralph Lauren. Like, it's definitely not new. So I think it's got to be like a 2015 or 16 is my guess. Yeah, definitely more money. 100% more money. Because like I said, it's just not something I've ever seen. So if you guys see those out in the wild, I don't know how much more this one's going to be worth, but I'm guessing it's got to be worth at least $5 or $6 more than the average, if not 10 or more. And see how it's got, I don't know if you can see that, but see how it's got that texture? It has that pinpoint single knit or single stitch look to it, but it's not. So add flesh pony in your title. Okay, I will. Different kind of Ralph Lauren polo ponies. Yeah. So it's the first one I've ever seen. Have you guys seen these before out in your thrifting experiences? I've just never seen one like that. So that was kind of cool when I held it up at the garage sale. I was like, whoa. And of course you're trying to make it look like, you don't want to make it look like the people are like, see that you're excited. But I was like, whoa, what is this? Bailey says yes. All right. How much more are these worth with that one? Because like I said, I've just never seen that. Man, we sold that, it was the Great Britain one? Yeah, that Great Britain one with that big pony. Man, that was a banger. I think I sold that for like, what did we sell that for? Like $80 or something like that. Like, it was a good 60 or 80 or something. I can't remember, but it was a nice little, like, I was like shocked. Hey, Phyllis D. Beaudry, good to see you. How are you today? Wow, look at your profile picture. You're like some sort of really gorgeous model. Holy cow. Welcome to a not model stream. I want Coley to get on here so she can see this amazing, absolutely insane t-shirt that she gave me. Oh my goodness, you guys. Like, it's the first thing I showed my son when he got here. He was like, because he picked me up and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, one of the first things I said to him was like, you're never going to believe what happened today. I was like, one of my friends on TikTok got me this shirt. It's so amazing. And he's just like, you're really excited about it. I'm like, I am. So then I got here and I showed it to him and he goes, okay, that's actually kind of fire. I was like, yeah. Thanks for the live, Aaron. Around 25 to 35. Ooh, Bailey. I like that, baby. I like that a lot. So that'll be a nice little profit from a random garage sale find. All right, next thing we've got up. This is a really, really old brand. I don't know if anybody in here is going to remember this. It was called CW, and it's Clifford and Willis. I just remember these from like the 90s. These were really huge. You'd see this at like, I don't even remember where they used to sell them. In the mall somewhere, when I would be shopping with my mom, I would see this tag. And so I saw it at a garage sale, and it was like, this was like a quarter. So I was like, okay, I have to get it. So, and I believe is it 100% wool? Let's take a look here. It is definitely, I mean, it's made in the USA, which makes it exciting. Dry clean only. Yeah, it's 100% wool. So we got like, look at that old tag. Yeah, baby. Made in the USA. It's super cute. It's got like a military-like look to it. All the buttons are here. So that's amazing. Snap's in the house. What? Snap. I got a couple new shirts in. I got Silver Stein. You have to know who that is. I'm assuming you know who that is. Silver Stein and an Atreyu shirt. If this one was my size, I would keep this one. Are you kidding me? That's friggin' fire, dude. So I got those in. So exciting. I also got a super banger, but I think I may have to list it online. I just think if I try to let it go on Whatnot, it's going to go for like way too low. I can't remember where I put it because it's like an $80 t-shirt. What's up? I do. I know, man. I love going to those garage sales. How I got these ones was, so I'm at the sale and I saw this shirt here and he's like, oh, do you know who that is? And I was like, of course I know who that is. And he's like, really? He's like, not many people do. I was like, I'm a big music head. Like I love music. And he goes, oh, he's like, I've got some other t-shirts inside that don't fit me anymore. Would you be interested? I was like, yeah. So he brought these out. So I got all these t-shirts for like, I think I spent $2 on them, which, you know me, I like to holler for $1, but I was like $2 for a Y2K, a trio, and Silver Stein. Heck yeah. List that fire, baby. You got it, Green. You got it. All right. So we're going to get this up here. This is such a cool, classic, like, career woman jacket, but it also has this really neat, like, industrial, military kind of look to it. There was, in the late 80s, early 90s, there was this look that was kind of going around where they were, like, combining, like, a military look with, like, a business casual look. And I think what it was, this is my, like, theory on it, is that there were so many people in that generation that were now getting into work and career life, but didn't want to let go of like their little bit of like edginess that they had in the 80s. And so you see it a lot in that early like 1990s look. You see either like that like ditzy floral like grunge mix with like, or you see like this military kind of look. I don't know if that resonates with anyone or anyone understands what I'm saying, but I see it a lot in a lot of the clothing, especially a lot of like the business clothing from this era. I think they were trying to get away from 1980s mom super shoulder pads, pink ladies wear, and transition that also into having just the slightest edgy kind of military look. Plus on in that era, if you think about like the 90s and like what was going on as a country at that time, and a lot of times when that kind of stuff's happening, you'll see like military stuff becomes popular for like how things look in that era because it's on people's minds, and so those fashion trends can parry over into other aspects of fashion beyond just like utility military gorpcore. So anyway, that's just a little thing I have noticed in my travels in the adventure of clothing. So just getting all the little dust balls off this guy, and it's actually in pretty good condition for being as old as this is. I mean, that is a suit. That is a typed out made in the USA. This has got to be a 88 jacket, maybe 89 at the latest, maybe 90. CW used to be J. Crew, then sold to. Oh, I didn't know it was sold to Spiegel. That's interesting. I knew that it had something to do with J. Crew, the Clifford and Willis line, but yeah, that's crazy. That was a whole feminine military vibe. Exactly, Aaron. You're on the nose. That's exactly it. Sometimes I say things and then you guys like clarify it in a way that makes more sense. So, and I love that about y'all. Big sister of T, good to see you in today. All right, so this is a good example of something where I am going to lower my exposure on my phone because it's going to get it's going to look way better and crisper and truer to tone because it is a exact navy color. I mean, you can't get more navy colored than this, so that looks good there. And then we'll get all of our pictures here. This is a size 10, which is, that must have been, back in the day, that must have been like one of the more standard women's sizes, like a 10, because I see that a lot in women's clothes from this era. And what I mean by standard is like, that must have been what a lot of people wore back then. I run into a lot of 8s and I run into a lot of 10s. So, you know, that's changed over time because we all found chicken sandwiches and things of that nature. However, I still, you know, I still come across obviously 10s and stuff all the time. I just feel like in these jackets, I run into 10s almost more than anything. 8s sometimes, 8 petite, but 10s is definitely the biggest one. All right, getting our little lint rollers here. So excited to have gotten these on sale. So freaking amazing. So, oh, the question. That book I was talking about, that Compound Effect, you can get it on the Smile Amazon store. There's 2 different ones though, 2 different compound effects. There's one by some other author and I don't know who it is. It's not the book that I recommend. I don't know what it is. The one that you want to get is the one that says it's by Darren Hardy, Darrenhardy. I put it in, if you guys go to the linky in the bio-y, it's over there under, if you click on the reseller supplies to get you started, in there, there's Justin made a little thing called like motivation or something, and I believe it's in there, or at least it was. I think Jay Licious had looked for me at one point. At least it was at some point. That's the one I'm talking about. Don't get the one by the other random author. And I think you can also get it. I think Jay Licious was saying that she found it for free on like, and there's an Audible, like rendition or something of it for maybe for free. I like to read it just because I go back every year and, you know, it's my little morning thing with my coffee. But if you can get it for free, just have a listen. Jay Licious, if you're still in here, I don't remember how you said you found that, or was it not you? I feel like it was you, but I could be mistaken. All right, we're gonna get another picture of this here, and then I noticed right here is the stitching. Oh no, the stitching's fine. It just needs an iron. All right, and then we're gonna get a picture of, let's see, is the inside weird or anything? Because if it's not, I'm not gonna worry about it. No, it's just lined. Sometimes like rebuttoning and unbuttoning all that, it's like, is it really worth my time? Probably not. So, let's see, anything else? Cheryl, way out, mercantile, good to see ya. All right, it's a cool color inside too. Look at this. It's like, oh, I think it used to be, oh yeah, the blues dyed it over time. So it's like blue and red inside. It's kind of cool. It looks like it's on purpose, but it's not. That's interesting. So make sure I get that in the picture just in case people are like, it's 2 different tones inside. It's like, well, it's a jacket from 1987. So that's what you get. You get what you get. All right, 100% wool. Get that made in the USA for sure. And then, obviously we want to get that it's a dry clean only. I would hope that if people had a wool item, they would know that it's dry clean only, but you never know. You never know. All right, there's that. There's that. Perfect. All right. Cheryl, good to see you. Domerski, what is up? That's a fun name. That's one of those that's just fun to say, Domerski. I don't know why, but that makes me laugh. What's your name? Domerski. Question, guys. What are we doing today? Are we listing? Are we doing photos? Are we just hanging out with me? Are we shirking responsibilities? Are we at our regular JOBs? These are all of the questions I am curious about today. What are you all up to today? Anybody doing anything fun? Anyone doing anything not fun? That's the question, right? All right, get our picture of our SKUs. The only thing I have to make sure that I remember to do now, especially if I'm not writing down the measurements, is get a picture of that SKU. And we're going to try this with the not writing down thing. I may absolutely hate this idea and change my mind, but we'll figure it out. Mike is steaming. I hear you, Mike. That's what I did this morning, too. Snap's ignoring responsibility. Fist bump on that one. Carrie's at the regular job. Domerski's listing. Bailey says, took my son and sat 5 hours at the DMV to get his license today. Oh, like literally. Is there anything worse than going to the DMV? I don't know, man. That's torture. Hey, some of y'all may work at the DMV, and that's fine, and you're probably happy working there. But the sitting and waiting at the DMV, that is for the birds. Just finished reorganizing my box area. Man, I know I have all these really cool Christmas villages that were in my mom's, and I really, really, really want to get them up this year. And I told Justin I want to get him up this year, and he got this like almost ill look on his face. And I was like, what? And he goes, you realize where that box is, right? And he's like, I don't even know exactly what the box looks like, but I know that it's underneath the hoard. And I'm like, oh. So that box is somewhere in all of that stuff that is all my garage sale stuff that I have like literally hoarded. I'm like, but do you really, really want them? And he's like, okay, we'll find them. I'm like, for Christmas? He's like, okay. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wait, did your son arrive okay? Yeah, he did snap. Long story short, last night I wound up taking his temperature because he wasn't feeling good. 101.5. So he is resting today. He is in the room still sleeping. Just like so sad. Came downstairs for food and was disappointed there was no banana bread. Dizzy, you gotta be at my house. There's banana bread cooking here. I know, right? So sad. All right, let's get our little polo shirt up here. So these ones here, I usually can pick these up at garage sales for like 50 cents. A lot of times people will want like $1 for the t-shirt. A lot of times for these little Nike ones though, they'll usually be like one or two other ones, and I can usually get them for like 50 cents a piece. Then what I do is I put them to the side like I have with, oh wow, did that bleach pen get rid of that? Oh my gosh. Oh no, there it is still a little bit. No, that's better though. So I'll put them to the side. So when you guys find these little Just Do It shirts, like these little Nike tees, just gather them. So like this is an XL. I'll start like a little box that says like Nike XL or Nike medium or Nike large. And I'll throw these in there. And then when I get like 3 of them, I'll do a little bundle with these. They'll sell way better for you, and I can usually, off the 3 t-shirts, I can usually make like $20. And then that way I'm like listing them all at the same time. It's just faster and easier. So usually 20 to 30 depending on the t-shirt and the size, or depending on the bundle and the size. And then if you make them $20 or $30, if you're getting them for $1, I mean, why not? They'll sell really quickly. So I sell a lot of these little bundles, so that's a little tipsy, I know, bummer on that, right? AETX 2010 is here. All right, now again, I would normally do the same thing with this little polo one, but I don't have any others in this size, and I don't come across these as much. With the Nike ones, and what is the other one that I do? What's the other t-shirt brand? There's another one, is it t-shirts? No, I can't remember. Oh, banana bread. There's something else that I wind up bundling. I can't remember now what it is, but anyway. Oh, shorts. So like, especially like Hollister or Abercrombie shorts, Iron Flex shorts. There's a couple other shorts where I'll put them to the side. And then Tommy Bahama, that's another one I do a lot. And then I'll sell like 2 or 3 pairs when I get a couple in that size. So, little tip for you. It just helps to, if you're getting them for cheap. Now, if you're at the thrift store and you're paying thrift store prices, I would not be picking up Tommy Bahama shorts, or not Tommy Bahama. I didn't mean Tommy Bahama. Tommy Hilfiger. I wouldn't be picking up Tommy Hilfiger and Iron Flex and Hollister. I wouldn't be picking up any of those unless you're getting them like garage sale prices. Otherwise, they just don't. Unless they're like super special, super Y2K special shorts, you're really only going to get about 12 max on them, and it just doesn't make it worth it unless you're bundling and unless you're getting them for a good price. If you're putting 3 pairs of shorts together and each of those pairs of shorts you're getting for $1 at a garage sale, or you're getting them at the bins is another place, of course, that would be inexpensive. If you're paying $1 a pound there or $2 a pound, it's really only costing you like 70 cents for a pair. So if you're at the bins and you're seeing them, I would do that, bundle them together, because you're going to be able to make like, $30 off the bundle or $28 off the bundle. But just selling them separately, when I first got started, I was picking that kind of stuff up all the time, because I was like, oh, these are great shorts, these are Tommies, these are, Iron Flex are great for people that like to work. But the resale value on just selling one pair is not great. And it's the shipping really that kills people, because if they're paying anywhere between $5.99 to $7 for shipping for a pair of shorts, that they're paying $10 on, it's like, it's almost $20 for that pair of shorts. And I think in their mind, they think to themselves, I can so easily go buy a new pair for 25 or 30. Why would I do that? So I don't know if that helps anybody out, but if it saves you from listing those kind of things individually, it's just a time sucker, and you're not going to make enough hourly to make it worth it. So, alrighty, let's take a look here, getting a picture of this. Hey, honey, is that you? Yeah. Can you do me a fave? Can you put a toothpick in that banana bread and then bring it to me and let me see what it looks like? Please and thank you. All right. Thrifty Duckies is here. Thrifty Duckies, you came up in topic on a live because we were talking about people that liked remotes. And I was like, oh yeah, like J-Ride. And I was like, and Thrifty Duckies. I was like, dude, Thrifty Duckies finds the legit remotes. Thrifty's living the remote life. I don't ever find remotes, ever. You're going to tease you with the bread. Dizzy, I may tease you with it. It won't be cool enough to cut, though. I just have to see if there's anything on the toothpick. The bread looks done to me. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, that's done. Perfect. Does it look tasty? I tried something a little different this time. You gotta leave it in the machine or take it out? Take it out of the bowl. Take it out of the thing, and then I don't want it to cook anymore. Actually, this is gonna sound really weird, but can you bring it to me just so I can see? We gotta show the stream. You want me to show the stream? It's not cooled. I can't cut it, but I just want to see what it looks like in the container because I may want to keep it in there for browning. But I may want to pull it out. This is a really nice Ralph Lauren, too. This almost has that pinpoint again. I must have gotten these all at the same place. Because these all are that same era. And they're all about the same size. This is an XL. So here's another one that's really interesting. So it's almost like a black watch plaid. I mean, technically it kind of is. Although the black watch is, this one is primarily blue with the yellow. Oh, wow. Okay, that looks insane. Okay. All right, folks, I think we may have just made... Whoa. Okay. That is insane. And that may have turned out better than any one I've ever made. Is it going to come out easily? Or I may need another... This is... What am I even doing? I am literally listing clothing and doing bread. Honey, do you have another oven mitt? And maybe a bread knife? We're going to use this thing. We're going to use our iron thing because I don't want to burn myself. The iron thing for clothes has more uses than just... Is it going to come out easily? Oh, yeah, I think it is. I don't even think we need a knife. Whoa! Banger! That is a banger. Here, wait, I got to get all chefy. And get the little crumbs off of the corner. We got to make this look legitimately good. I got Jack down here looking. We got to get all the crumbs off the plate. We got to make it look all, like, perfect. Bread. All right, here we go, guys. Ready? You ready to see a ridiculous loaf? All right. Da, 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 dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Hello. Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are coming down in pairs. Bananas in pajamas. Are you waving at everybody? I can see you on YouTube. Thank you, honey. Very hot. Very, very, very hot. There we go. Perfect. So I did my little trick with the sour cream, and I did my little trick with the buttermilk, but I've never had sour cream and buttermilk at the same time. So I did sour cream and buttermilk, and then I also, you smell that? And then I also chopped up the cashews and roasted them first with a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of butter. So I think it's going to be ridiculous. Bread and candy. Yeah, baby. I know, I'm drooling now. I applaud your planting of the bread. Thank you. Bread and candy. This is how I keep my so small girlish figure, guys, is I eat so healthy and perfect. I don't eat chicken sandwiches and banana bread and sourdough and cinnamon rolls. Yo, what's up, God? I thought you're dairy free. I am for the most part. There's a few things I can do. So I can't eat ice cream that's dairy ice cream, and I can't just drink milk. I can do a little bit of buttermilk if it's in a recipe, because by that point it's stretched so far. I can do sour cream, no problem. I can do cottage cheese, no problem. I can do cheese pretty well. The harder the cheese, the easier. The softer the cheese, the harder, meaning like I do better with Parmesan than I do mozzarella, but I still eat pizza. And I can do butter, just not a huge amount of it. So for me, the worst ones though, the absolute 100% no-goes is I could never drink a glass of milk, and I cannot eat ice cream that's dairy, that even has a dot of dairy in it. All of those things, I think, well, I spoke to my doctor about it at one point, my dietitian person that I had worked with years ago when I was first starting to have food allergies and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And she just said that it's just the way that it's made. Like, everything is just produced differently, and I'm not like a foodie person, so I don't know exactly the molecular science, but she had just explained to me that it just works differently, like how they make the stuff, and because of how they make it differently, it ferments differently, and so different people can have different parts of it. So Mike says, me too, Dizzy. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, sometimes I'm, then every once in a while I'll just eat a slice of cheese and it'll literally destroy me. So I think it just depends on like how good my system is going. So I wish I could go back to the days when food actually rotted. I know, right? I have a little bit of diverticuli, Mike. And so I think that, and I have IBS. So I think that those two things are like back to back. Like, my stomach is so much better nowadays. When I was younger though, I didn't eat red meat, dairy, pork, or eggs for 13 years. So and then at one point I started doing a greens drink that like really helped my tummy. And unfortunately the company changed their formulation. It's not the same anymore, which is a bummer. But that really helped heal my gut. And then I started getting really into like, trying to figure out like vitamins and stuff like that. And so I have like a strict regimen that I take every single day. Like, it's like I've taken it for years, this exact same regimen. And my stomach is 850 zillion times better than it was at one point. I was taking like 6 or 7 Imodium a day. I was seeing like a gastro specialist. They thought maybe I had Crohn's, but I didn't. It was a nightmare for a very long time. So what's up, Blended? Anyway, enough about my stomach. We're gonna talk about bread and tummies and all the good stuff. All right, so we're gonna get a close-up picture here of our nice little Ralph Lauren. This is another probably 2016-ish, I would guess, 2015 maybe. Really neat embroidered green pony too. Let's take a look. No, that is overexposed, so we need to bring that down to a -7. Let's take a look and see how that looks. And good. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, and then we're gonna get our shoulders and all the rest of our photos. So yeah, here's another one that's got like a kind of a unique pony. Now this pony is all solid. However, it is like a really nice like green stitch embroidered one. It just looks a little different than I have seen the other ones. And whenever you find anything that's like a little bit different, you want to make sure you of course note that, because sometimes those little things are what makes someone decide to get something over another item, is just that one little logo, that one little something. Make sure our little buttons are in here. And I wonder how many dress shirt buttons at this point I have buttoned. Like thousands? It has to be thousands. Like, because it's not like when I'm getting these dress shirts from the garage sale, they're already pre-buttoned. That doesn't exist. Like, wouldn't that be nice, though? In a world where the garage sale clothes were already perfectly buttoned up. That's like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're dreaming, honey. You're dreaming. All right, get a picture of the back here. Fix the collar. Take the extra 2 seconds to make it look nice, because it'll get sold way faster that way. All right, bringing that back over. Do you sell anime clothes? If I can come across them, Mike. The only brands I don't really do anymore because they just don't make any money is like Naruto. Naruto for me, I don't know if it's just because they're so... Oh, you know what I think I forgot to do? I think I forgot to take the tape off the sleeve of this one. There's just so much Naruto out there. I think the market just got like really saturated. And then of course like Walmart and stuff started carrying it. And when that kind of stuff happens, it's just going to go downhill. Now the only exception, I can't believe I remembered that. I did remember I put that on there. The only exception for Naruto is I will sell like the toys. The old toys. There is a huge market for like the 2002 and earlier Naruto collectibles. I mean, I sold one a few months back for like $89. Like, so if you can find those kind of like little pieces like that, but in clothing wise, I really try to... I would say 80% of the time on that stuff, I have to use Google Lens because anime is interesting. Like if you understand the anime world, then you know what's going to be popular and what's not going to be popular. But if you're not familiar with it, like my kid was never into it. I was never really into it. So I don't know that much about it. And so because of that, there's just so much out there and some of it is really worth like crazy top dollar. I sold an anime video game for like almost $300, but then there's another one that's going to be worth 8 cents. Like, so I would say it's one of those things you really, really, really have to comp on. And y'all know I don't always preach comping. A lot of times I go off of gut feeling. But I love when I see those NiceComps. Get it? My name. But when it comes to anime stuff, that's something that I almost always comp. Unless you're giving it to me for 50 cents at a garage sale. I'm not going to worry about it. But even for 50 cents at a garage sale, I stopped picking up Naruto. It just does not sell. I think I probably even still have some sitting in my store from like Lord knows when. Button-up shirts take so long to picture because of that. I know, Blended. It's so true. Like, I wish that they would always come buttoned. But it's like people take it off and then they put it in a pile, or they take it off the hanger at home because they're going to do the garage sale, so they'll unbutton half of it or something, and it's like the sleeves are always unbuttoned, and it's just like, oh, my little fingers are tired of doing those buttons, but hey, I like the money I make, so hey, Tammy, good to see you. Oh, I don't think I got a picture of that tag. Good to see you, Tammy. What's Tammy up to today? What is Tammy Domansky up to today? Besides being awesome, I mean. All right, let's get that picture of that because I almost forgot to picture the tag. There we go, perfect. So on this one too, I know we're close to the holidays, but don't snooze on putting like Christmas and stuff down in your keywords because yes, they may not be getting it for Christmas for someone this year, but just the fact that they're still searching Christmas stuff, they may think to themselves, you know, they're looking for a gift for this is how people's brains work, or at least I know this is how my brain works. I'm looking for something for my niece, and so I'm going down a rabbit hole on eBay. I'm looking, and then all of a sudden I come across this because it's listed as Christmas or holiday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been needing to get a shirt, and so I'll just order a shirt while I'm also looking for other stuff. So that is definitely something to think of when you're listing stuff. Don't snooze on putting up that Christmas stuff still. Lisa, good to see you. Welcome in. Okay, next thing we've got here is another Tommy. And this one's got like a couple little tiny pinholes in it. So I'm going to... Oh, it's got a huge... Nope. Giant rip. You know what we do with something like this? We go, c'est la vie, c'est la va, life goes on. Oh, life goes on. And we throw it in the garbage. Because it literally is not going to be worth anything. Thanks for the likes, Delicious. Okay, this is going up here. And let's get some pictures of this here. Make him look good. Make him look nice. Make him look like sugar and spice. Smooth it out so it's great. Alright, and then get this one down here. This one's made in China, so it's probably a 20... That's a pretty old tag. Maybe like a 2011. I think this is probably like a 2011. It says made in China. It's a pretty old tag, so that's interesting. All right, let's get a picture of this here, and then take a look and see how that looks. No, that looks absolutely hideous. Reds are always interesting. I find that every time I do reds, I have to like take the picture a couple times every single time. I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's an everybody thing. So I'll usually take a picture of it and then I'll go in to the brightness and kind of just mess with it until it looks like the actual color. Because I don't want to deceive anybody. I don't want someone thinking they're getting something that's way more red or way less red than it actually is. So that's just a me thing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'd rather provide the actual color that something is than someone be upset that they got something that they didn't think they were getting. Okay, going across here. Did anybody see Surf's video of that, like, it must have been like a booty leggy Ralph Lauren or something. The tag was all sewn on wrong, and then it had like a white tag up top, which they don't ever have that, and then it had something else on it that was like clearly not a Ralph Lauren. I'm trying to remember what the other thing was. I don't know if anybody saw it, but it cracked me up. It was a funny little video. I was like, because especially if you're somebody that sells this stuff a lot, you like know what that stuff, what it looks like. You just get so you see the tags and then you see something like that and you're like, what in the world? Yeah, reds are tough. For sure. Hey, Daredevil. Hey, Brandy. Good to see you. All right, we're going to get a little deep pill in there. It's amazing. Sometimes just taking the extra second on something makes all the difference in the world. There we go. Perfect. Wonderful. We love it. Smooth, 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 smooth. Smooth boy, smooth boy. All right, get a picture of this. And perfect. Moving right along. Kelly, good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in, Kelly. Welcome in, Kelly. Kelly with an I. She's not Kelly with a Y. She's Kelly with an I. Or it could be a guy, because Kelly can also be a guy's name. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Everyone's like, that was more than enough. That was quite a bit. So yeah, that's a super older. When you see that really old, that's an older Ralph Lauren tag. That really, really super square, almost like a digital 8-bit look. Kelly bakes bread. Ooh! Kelly, you and I got something in common then. I like baking bread myself. Just made a sourdough last night. Made a little banana bread action today. I don't know what else I'm going to make next. I was thinking about, like, once we get through this banana bread, which honestly in this house it won't last long. But I was thinking about doing, like, homemade cinnamon rolls. Because I have my starter. I have a sourdough starter I use for everything. I put a little sourdough starter even in this. My sourdough starter I put in everything. Her name is Odo, like O-D-O-U-G-H, like Odo. But it's actually Odo named off of Odo from Deep Space Nine, who his name in Cardassian means sample. I know. If you can follow that, then you are also a nerd like me. If you followed what I said, you classify into the Geek Squad like with me. We are hanging out. We are in band together. We both have retainers on. We definitely are living that life. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons together on Saturday nights. While everyone goes and parties, we're hanging out we're playing magic cards. Oh, Amazon's here. Amazon's always here. All right, next up we've got this shirt. I think I have sold like 4 times. It's really interesting. It's the I think this is United Manchester maybe, or maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember. But I have sold this same shirt quite a few times. Now, what's interesting, because I have sold this a couple times, is that the size tag is gone on this one, unless for some reason it ended up down here, which I have seen that before. Let me double check. No. Okay. So the size tag is gone on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and look at my old listings of these that I've sold, because I'll know that there's measurements on them. So I'm going to go to Sold Comps. I'm going to find my listing, and I'm going to see what the measurements were on it, and then that'll tell me what size this is. My son plays that every weekend. Snap, your son and I lived the same life then, for sure. I was the only girl I knew that played Magic the Gathering. So, all right, bringing this down here, and perfect. All right, let's get this in a photo, and we will move on to the next item. Let's see, +3 is going to be too much. I think just a regular 0 on this one probably, huh? Let's take a look. Let's see how that looks. Perfect. All right. And measurements. I think this is probably going to classify as a small. I have a feeling. Although these soccer jerseys all run a little bit small, so this could be classified as a medium. Yeah, I guess it might be closer to a medium. I've noticed that when you guys do soccer jerseys, make sure soccer or football, meaning FUTBOL ones, make sure that you get your measurements in there for sure, because they really do run small. Like, I'm always surprised what it says the size is on all of these shirts. Like, it always says, like, it'll say large, and you're like, I wear a large, and that is definitely not a large. So, and it could be some of it's like European or, you know, out of country sizing or something. I'm not really sure, but Phyllis, good to see you. Oh, Phyllis is here with that beautiful picture again, with her stunning, glorious, amazing little cover photo there. I mean, good gravy. All right, and this folded up. And if you have any questions over on FB or IG or YT, feel free to ask. I'm here. I got my screen up. I can see ya. Annie, good to see you. Yay, Annie's here. Hello, hello, hello. So no size tag on that one. So we will just figure out what it was, because I've listed these so many times before. That one shirt, I always seem to find that one. Okay, next thing we've got up is another older Polo Ralph Lauren. So this has that square. So this is like always a super older look on this Polo. Where's a newer one? Let's see. I don't think I have a newer. No, these are all from that same era. So the year that's after this on these Polos are the ones that aren't quite so square. They don't look like 8-bit as much. Those are going to be more your like late post Y2K, meaning like 2015 to like 2018. Now they're usually either screen printed or it's that blue label with the hot yellow writing, and that way you know it's obviously modern. Plus usually those will have a UPC or a QR code scanner at the bottom. These ones usually either don't have anything or they have the blue machine wash tag or the white machine wash tag, either of those. So, think for good to see you. Kit Kat's here! All right, let's get this sucker up here. And on these ones too, I always look for flaws really closely. I would say 5 out of every 10 times, there'll be a little spot somewhere right in here where someone was eating something and it kind of dripped down. So I always look on these. I don't see anything on this one. So this is really nice. This has that single needle stitch too. I think I got a sneaking suspicion that I got all of these from maybe like the same sale. They were all in the same box together. They're all about the same size. They're all from about the same era. And they all have this really interesting, cool like pin or a single needle stitch look to it, which is really kind of cool. So, all right, let's get a picture of this here. And I think we're going to go +3 on our focus for this one. And then let's get a close-up one. See how that looks. That looks great. Perfect. All right. And then we're going to do some measurees. So this is an XL here, which is, I think, probably one of my favorite sizes. I mean, my absolute favorite size of these to sell is like the 2XLs and the 3XLs. Those sell really, really fast and easily. But I do like the XLs because I can still use loose or baggy in my keywords. And right now, that 90s preppy aesthetic baggy look is so popular. You've got a lot of people wearing these that are wearing like double 2 or 3 of these on top of each other so they can do the pop collars and do the 3 pop collars with like a pair of Junkos or something and some Docs or whatever. So you've got that look, and they're looking up for their keywords. People are looking up loose and they're looking up baggy. So anything like this that has that like 90s preppy aesthetic to it, that has that like streetwear look to it, I do loose and baggy if it's anything of an XL or above. I'll get that there, because a lot of girls like in the, I would say like 14 to like 17-year-old category, and some probably even more than that, are wearing these like 3 on top of each other and then doing like the 3 collars. So for them, this is my thought pattern. If it's large or bigger, then for these girls, they probably wear more like a small or a medium. So if they're looking for something loose and baggy, a large is going to be what they're looking for. If that makes, I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but so I do loose and baggy on all these that are large and above. And this one's even better because this is an XL. Mediums and smalls, I don't think you can really do that on. But Brooke, what is good? Ruth is here. All right, let's get this sucker folded up here, and then we will move right along. Let's see. I just got a text message. Let me take a look at that. Oh, it's my best friend. All right. Getting this all folded up here. And speaking of Golden Seal, I know she wouldn't mind me saying this because she's not on social media and nobody knows who she is. But she messaged me and she was like, I have a UTI, please help me. What is it I'm supposed to take? She's like, help. And I was like, I got you, girl. I was like, here's the regimen. Here's the sure-proof UTI regimen. All right, getting a picture of this. And then it looks like we just got an offer over on eBay. Let's take a look and see what that is, because we never snooze on offers, right, kids? Oh, no, we just sold something. We sold a Thundercat Tower of Omens deluxe playset. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Hello, Ruth. I'm happy to see you today. Okay, let's see. Next up, we've got another polo. Same exact thing, same era, same look. So, what I like doing is, you guys know I try to do things in batches. I'm always trying to save time. So when we box up garage sale stuff, we try to put as many things together that are alike to save me time when I'm doing this. So like after a sale, when you guys see me do like my garage sale hauls, I'm sorting at that time. So I'm putting like all pants together, polos together, t-shirts together, because when I go to list this, all I have to do is go off of the last listing I did and then just click sell similar, remove the pictures, change the measurements. All my keywords are there, all my descriptions there, everything's already there, which is just a huge time saver. Hey Joey, what's up? So let's get this sucker up. So yeah, so what I'll do on this one is the original one today, when I sit down to list, I will find one of my polo shirts that has already sold, which there's tons of them because you guys know I sell a ton of these. And so I will go in and do my sell similar on that item. I'll put up my descriptions and everything, put the measurements. I'll put that listing live, and then I'll take all the rest of these ones and just go into sell similar. I'll change the size if I need to. I'll change the measurements in my description, and then the price if I need to, and then that's it. Like, it just goes so fast if you do it like that. Okay, hey Nicole, what's going on? I see you there, Nicole. All right, so let's smooth this one out. And then also, little tip on these too, when you're doing these, and I know we've talked about this before, but I know we got a couple new people on here today, is to make sure when you're listing shirts like this that have a different length in the front than they do the back, which like the Ralph Lauren polos, a lot of Nikes, oh man, I think even some of the Robux stuff, they have a different size in the front than they do in the back. The tail end is larger or longer. So when you're doing your measurements, make sure you get that in the photo. And then if you do put your measurements in the description, I always put like 32 front, 34 back, because otherwise you're going to get someone that's like, I thought this was, you listed it as a 34 and it's way shorter in the front than it is the back. It's just going to save you the time and heartache of having someone like pull up some silly, stupid thing. Joey, my lights did come in. I haven't put them up yet. Happy Tuesday. They are sitting actually in a box right over here, right there on that table. So they need to go up. I haven't done it yet. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. All right. Yeah, Nicole called me a queen. I'll take it, man. Hello. All right, let's take a look and see how this coloring's going to look. Oh, it's a little light. Let's change we're going to change our exposure there. We're going to get our up close picture first. And then let's get our back picture here. And we're going to bring that down to a 0, snap a photo, and then we're going to get our measurements. So we've got 19, nope, just kidding. We got 20 across. So again, don't forget on these two, for your keywords, you want to make sure you're doing your preppy style, preppy wear, preppy style, all one word, loose, baggy, streetwear, throwback, 90s nostalgia, 80s nostalgia, frat, university, academia, career, designer. Those are just a couple off the top of my head that always end up. You can go into any of my listings. If you just find me on like eBay or whatever, just look up NiceComps. You can go in there and you can see the keywords I use for, for this stuff. And yes, I am still working on that keyword PDF. I just haven't had time. I'll just be honest with you guys. I've been so busy fourth quarter trying to get all this done and, taking advantage of that. It's something I'll probably work on after the beginning of the year when things slow down a little bit. So, user 2267365502. Welcome in to the madness. All right, getting a picture of the tag here. And then, of course, it's an XL, so loose, baggy, all that kind of stuff is going in there as well. All right, fold this sucker up and then really being cognizant to make sure I'm getting a picture of our bags, the SKU number, because holy smokes, that would be terrible to have to go back through things. I would not like that. Bree T is in the house. Bree, I always like when I see your name because it has like the little stars and it always reminds me of the nautical punk star that I have on my neck. I'm always like, oh, she's got the nautical punk star in her thing. I love that. Okay. Then we've got another polo one, same story. So this one is definitely Christmas. I wish I would have gotten this one up a little sooner. I just didn't even know I still had it. So this one's got like it's interesting. It's like a red, but it's also a pink. And then it looks way more pink to you guys. It doesn't look that pink in person. And then it's got this really pretty like pony thing. This is almost like a vaporwave color. It's got like those pinks and those greens. It's really interesting. Hey, yo. Bree, you just got the #1 gifter badge. Next on that. Hey, Erica, good to see you. Just said a gift. Thank you, Bree. I appreciate it. All right, smoothing this out here. And then again, always looking for flaws on these ones because like I said, people spill like, burrito juice or marinara down the front of these. So you always want to be looking for that. I think that's like the #1 reason people get rid of these is because, they're buying them new. They have the money to just throw away and they just toss them because of that. So let's get a picture of this, see how that looks. And yeah, I guess it is more pink than red. I mean, that looks really pink though. That is way too pink. That is not what it looks like. So I will go in and I will change things a little bit because I am not trying to have somebody get something that they're not expecting. Yeah, that's better. That's what it really looks like. Okay, so here's that and that. And let's get a picture of that there. Picture of that. The end, of course, featuring the front and back. Very important that you do that for this sizing here. And then chest area, back hanging out picture. Let's get our things there. Man, I'm smelling that banana bread, guys, and I cannot even. It smells so stinking good. I'm going to be a good girl, though. I'm going to eat a salad, and then I'm going to have a piece of banana bread. It's not a crime. I mean, we all need a little banana bread in our life, right? Nothing wrong with that. We all need a little banana bread in our life. Put a little banana in my life, in the world. Especially this time of year. It's all I want to do is like, drink apple cider, yummy things. And I want to eat all the delicious foods and all of that. And then like January 4th comes and I'm like, ooh, I just need vegetables. Hey, Court, what's going on? All right, so let's get a picture here of this size tag, and then we can move and right along. Perfect. Done and done. Get it in there. Yeah, I think this one's going to sell pretty quickly. With that pink and then that pony being like, I mean, this is like so totally 1980s colors. Like, yeah. I think we're going to do 80s nostalgia. Oh, also 80s baby. I'll put 80s baby, all one word on there too, and that'll help that. I think I may even put vaporwave in there because it really truly is like vaporwave colors. All right, get a picture of the bag. And man, it's so crazy to see this number. So this time last year, the highest number in my closet would have been in my inventory would have been probably 110 maybe something in there. Rick, I see you on Whatnot. Thanks for sending me over a follow. I will follow you back. If you guys haven't followed me on Whatnot, make sure you do. I'm going to be doing my first shows ever after the beginning of the year. Nervous. Anyway, so that means in this year, I have probably done quite close to 1,200 pieces of clothing. And then plus all of the shoes, plus all of the, because I did a lot of toys. Now, I didn't do a whole heck of a lot from January until like almost April. I wasn't doing a whole lot of work. I was doing minimal listing because I was dealing with that back situation. Potato Books is here. Potato Books pins. What is that? Or is that Potato Pastels? Did you add another emoji in there? Is that Potato Books Needle? Potato Books Needle. Potato Books Needle is here. Anyways, so I'm proud of myself. That means from really like probably April-ish until now is really the majority of that, is probably like 1,000 of that. So that's not bad. Like, I want to do way more this next year, but like I do have to give myself props knowing I have done a good job. I have been working steady. And then that doesn't include, of course, all of the shoes and the things that are too big for bags and all the hard goods and stuff. So I don't think that's too bad. You did sales. Wendy P. How do you guys feel about your performance this year? Like, and being totally honest and transparent, how are we feeling about our reselling this year? Some of you may have been doing it a long time. Some of you maybe have just started doing it. I know Joey's been doing this for 312 years now. So Joey's been doing it a long time. Joey lists a lot of stuff because he is obviously a pro at the situation. But like, if you had to give yourself a grade, like A+ is like you killed it in a way that no one's ever killed it. And F is like, I got some serious improvement to do. Like, what grade would you give yourself this year? I'm going to give myself, for the first 6 months of this year, I'm going to give myself like a D because I really didn't do much. I did a little bit. So I sold a good amount of video games, but like, that was really it. And then the second half of the year, from like July until now, I'm going to give myself like, I think I'm going to do like a B or B-. Like, there's a lot more I could have done. Of course, I'm always a little hard on myself, but I think there's a lot more I could have done. I think there's a lot of areas where I could have worked smarter, not harder. But I've also been willing to learn, and I've learned from you all a lot, and I've learned from a lot of videos and stuff like that. So, I think I'd give myself a B. I'm going to give myself a B. Like, I'm definitely not an A yet, that's for sure. But I feel like kind of, like, a little bit. So Joey is so disciplined. Seriously. Is NiceComps also eBay store? Yeah, catch and lunkers. All of my stuff, anywhere you guys find me, whether it is Facebook or Instagram or eBay, Poshmark, Depop, TikTok, anywhere, it's NiceComps on every single thing. So you should be able to find me. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you, Aaron. It's pretty amazing. Like, he is definitely dedicated. Hey, Marie, good to see you. Nurse says a C. That surprises me, Nurse, because you work so hard. Like, Nurse, do you just think you're being hard on yourself? Because, like, you are one of the hardest workers I know. So I'm surprised. Like, I think you are way up in the B category, if not higher, because you literally work so much. So, Scott, wait, what's going on? You're welcome, Kat. You're welcome. Hi, Hey, Vicky. Annie says, I give a C in the beginning. Now I'm at a B. I agree with you on that, Annie. You have grown so much in a very short period of time. Annie, you know what else I really love about you is you take information that other people have given you and you really do take it to heart and like use it to think like, okay, how can I improve myself? How can I better myself? Not only do you take the advice, but I also see you implementing that advice, and it's like, people can tell you advice all day, but if you don't take it and put it into action, you're not really getting any further. And Annie, I really see your growth, like hugely. I hugely see your growth for sure. Diddley Squash says, F for me. I'm getting back on the wagon, though. Planning on going live and doing WN in 2025. Diddley, I make you a deal. I'll come check out your shows if you come check out mine. I'm, like, nervous to do it over there. I don't know why, but I feel, like, nervous in my stomach about it. So, Diddley, thank you for being honest, though. Hey, I was like in January, I was definitely an F last year, that's for sure. Lil Fac ID Plus, really, Mike? You are doing really good, too. Like, Mike, A, you sell an insane amount of, like, the sewing machine parts thing. But, like, B, you also take advice, and you're, like, constantly trying to, like, grow and stretch and doing more. Nurse, you do a great job. Scott, I'm very happy to see you. Scott says I give myself an F. Scott, are you being hard? F for freaking good. Yeah, I love that. I love it, Annie. I really learned a lot of times in this community. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too, for sure. Yeah, Mike, I think you're being hard on I think you're going hard on yourself. Deal, Diddley. C says, catch. Instead of eBay store, I have 3 accounts, max limit of 150. Pain in the ass. Yeah, that's tough. That is definitely tough to be running. That's got to be hard to be going back and forth on that too. You're welcome. Mike, but you can't, I know you've been going through like health stuff and stuff. You can't take that in consideration of like how good you're doing though, because that's stuff that's out of your control. Like you can't help that. Like a lot of that, which of course I'm preaching exactly what I just said, why I gave myself a lower grade, but like you do a lot. I'm proud of you. I was picking up trash. I need to give myself a D for dumpster fire trash. Man, I was picking up trash at the beginning too. I still like have stuff in my store that I'm like, I can't believe that's still sitting there. Bree says, very, very part-time here, but about a B. I love that, B-. I try to work full-time and raise 2 kiddos. You know what's cool about this too is I think a lot of people they come on these lives and people can tend to be, and Bree, I'm not saying this is you, but I know this has happened with other people. They're like embarrassed to say that they're only part-time or super part-time because you got a lot of people on here that are full-time making crazy amounts of money. But it's like, that's what they choose. That's their choice. Like, I choose to come on here, and I choose to do this business full-time. Now, I ain't making no 6 figures yet, but, you know, we're on our way, and we're doing okay. But I think that people are hard on themselves because, like, there is nothing wrong with being part-time. There's nothing wrong with being even super, super, mega, ridiculously kind of part-time. If that's what you set out to do, and you're like, dude, I just want to make some fun money. I want to make some McDonald's money. I want to make some spending cash money. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing that super, super part-time. There's also nothing wrong with doing it, 140 hours a week if that's you. So, yeah, let's all just meet ourselves where we're at and just be proud of, like, what we're doing. And, hey, it's okay. When I first started doing this, you guys, I was just trying to sell the stuff from my mom had passed. This was not going to be business for me. I started doing this because my kid was doing it. And I was like, oh, that'd be something fun to do together. And I'd make a little extra money. Like, never thought this is what I would eventually do full time. Bailey says, see, for me, I'm part-time and could be full-time. Could be full-time like you want to be full-time, or like you have the time to be full-time, or like you have the time and you want to be. I made the same as what I did when I was in the hospital. Dude, that's like when you were in the hospital or when you were working at the hospital. Fact snap. I compare my sex to no one. Exactly. Meg, exactly. Like comparison, one of my favorite quotes is comparison is the thief of joy. And so let's not compare ourselves with anybody. Like, no, you're killing and yeah, I'm doing goals. I got big, huge goals by this time next year, and I'm going to keep working at this until it happens. By this time next year, I will be a 6-figure income earner doing this. I am going to spend this year delegating and having people assist me, and I am changing the way I'm going to do things a little bit. I had like come to Jesus moments when I was on Joey's live a few nights ago, and so I'm really trying to think like, okay, how can I take 2025, take what I've learned, and then up my game to up my income? And so I got big goals, and I'm just going to keep going for it. I'm here with you guys. I ain't going nowhere. Like, this is me. I'm a lifer. Like, I love doing this. You couldn't stop me from going to garage sales if you tried. Part-time want to be full-time, says Carrie. Yeah, you'll get there, baby. I have faith in you, Carrie. Carrie, you always show up. You got to show up to grow up, right? You got to show up to go up. And so you're showing up, and that's what it takes. Working at the hospital, I could use more time wisely. Bailey, I hear you. And I'm someone that's easily distracted. And so for me, it's like sitting down and trying to figure out, like, how can I maximize my time so that I can get to the end of the evening and feel like a success? Also, Bailey, you strike me as someone that's probably a little hard on themselves. So I'm going to encourage you to do something that I've started doing, which has really helped me. And it's one of the things that I've gotten from that book I'm reading. And it's to write down a goal that you want to get for the end of the day. And as long as you meet that goal, just do one more. And here's what I mean. Goal. listing 10 items today, right? If that's your goal, I want to list 10 items today and I want to get 10 items cross-listed. That's my goal for today. When you get to 10, don't stop. Just do one more. And if you just do that one more, it compounds over time. And pretty soon you're doing 11 without thinking it. And then it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to do 12. And so then out of nowhere, all of a sudden you're doing 12 and you're not even thinking about it. And it's like all of those things stack up. And that's something I've been really working on, because I don't know if you guys remember when I first started doing TikTok a few months ago, because I've only been doing this for I think like 4.5 months now or something like that. When I first started doing this, I was listing, the most I could get listed in a day was 7. And that to me was like a crazy amount. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting 7 things listed. Now I easily get 20 things listed, and I get those costs listed, and I'm delisting and relisting, and I still have time on my day to do other stuff and prep for the next day and stuff. But it's not because I went from 7 to 20. I went to 8. And then after a few weeks, I was able to do 9. And there's something about that satisfaction of going to bed at night, knowing I didn't just do my goal, I did my goal and one more. And I don't even know how to describe it. It's some sort of weird psychological mindset that we get. When we do that, for some reason, it just gives you this weird, like, oh, I did it, like, like, I'm a monster feeling. Like, it just feels really, really good. So, I don't know if that helps you, but there you go. I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully that helps. If not, maybe it'll help somebody else. Shop the Seller's here. All right. Getting in, putting that there. I think Shop the Seller's got her first shop. When's your first Whatnot show? You got one coming up, don't you? Let's take a look here. If you're still here, let us know. If you're not here, I will look it up. So, yeah, no Shop, guys. Make sure you follow Shop over on Whatnot, too. We're all better together. I mean, that's how I have to get ready, but wanted to say hi. Oh, is it today? Oh, it's at 6 p.m. today. As in 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. what? Like, here, let me look it up. Let's see. Shop the Seller. We'll have to pop in, guys, and show our support for somebody. For our friend Shop here. So 5 o'clock my time. So 1 hour and 20 minutes. So 6 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Shop the Seller. Make sure you guys go over. You can see I already bookmarked it myself. So make sure you go over and let's give her some love. I know my show's not even until the 7th of January and I'm nervous. So if y'all can give her a little bit of love, that's how we do this community, people. That is how we do this community. We are better together. All right, let's get a picture here of this item. And I think this is going to be our last thing for the day together, because I need some lunch and I am hankering for that banana bread. I cannot stop thinking about the fact that I have banana bread over there. Whoa, that's so weird. It like gave it this really strange look. I think the pattern on the shirt is like making the shirt look really weird. That's so strange. Let me take a look and see if it did it again. Oh, there we go. That's fine. It was like really weird for a second there, though. That was so strange. All right, get a picture of this here. And then we're going to do this. So a couple of reminders, too, before I head out of here in a minute. Make sure if y'all have not followed me over on YouTube, I'm going to encourage you to do that. I'm trying to really kind of make some changes, like I said, in this next year. And I want to do more videos where I don't have to be quite so cognizant of saying brands and recommending things and talking about stuff. Because over here on TT, every time I try to like tell y'all about something, almost always I end up getting like one of those little restrictions, because TT doesn't want you to sell things or talk about things you use or offer advice that may help you on other platforms. They of course don't want you to do that because they want you to stay on here. And so whenever I try to like tell you guys about something, I feel like half the time I'm speaking in some sort of weird like code. And so I am going to encourage you to find me over on IG, because that's probably the spot just kidding, on YT. So over on YouTube, it's just NiceComps. I'm going to encourage you to find me over there because that's where I will be majority. you know, I'll still be on here doing stuff, but I'm going to do a lot of the majority of my videos over there. Justin and I are also going to be doing some, this is so silly, but it's just something we want to do together because we wanted to like an activity this year that we could like do together because, you know, we work very different jobs. Justin runs a delivery company online. I am doing reselling. It's the two worlds are not the same. So he's doing his own thing a lot of the time. And I'm doing my own thing. And so we wanted to have like an activity that we can do together that isn't just like watching a movie or something. Like we wanted something that was like a little bit more like interactive. And so we're going to be doing like little ridiculous like music videos. And the ones we're going to make and stuff, and we're just going to have fun with it. A lot of that kind of stuff I can't get up over here on TT. So, yeah. So if you want to see us in our ridiculous music videos we're going to be making, because it may or may not have a swears in it, and just kind of our quirky, ridiculous selves, I would definitely suggest following me over on YouTube if you want to see those. It is free to subscribe, so you're not missing out on anything. Yeah, I love that, right? I schedule pediatric circs and hubby isn't into it. Oh, that's funny. That one, guys, that you guys do is awesome. Yeah, that Thanksgiving one, that's what inspired us. We had so much fun doing that. Like, we had more fun doing that video than even anything else on Thanksgiving. Yeah, the Thanksgiving chicken was funny. It is true. We literally forgot to get a turkey, so we had to have chicken instead. Yes, so yeah, guys, and if anybody else, like I said, if you follow me on WN, I will follow you back. Coley's here! Just in time, I was just about to get off. Coley, it fits freaking perfect. Literally, as the first thing I showed my son when he got here last night, I was like, you gotta see the shirt. And he's like, okay, that's actually fire. I'm like, I know! Like, it's got so much good stuff on it. It also brought back, like, the coolest memory. So this one where it's got, like, the car with the tree on it. So I think I told you guys this story once, but I'm not sure. So Justin used to do heating and cooling. He was the guy that would come and help service the heat pump, or if there was a problem, he'd come. Well, he was the new guy on the totem pole at the time. He worked for a company called Airflow, and he was the new guy on the totem pole. Well, as the new guy on the totem pole, it meant that he was on the one on call all the time. So we were like, okay, you're not working today. Hopefully there's no issues. Nothing is freezing today, so hopefully we can go get our Christmas tree. So we went to go, Snap found me on YouTube. Yeah, baby. So we go to get our Christmas tree. And at the time, we were still, this is why we were using live Christmas trees. Now I just use one that gets set up every year. But we used to go and cut a Christmas tree down every year. It was like our family tradition. So we went to go get this Christmas tree. And we get there. And of course, we find this one. And it is really big. But at the time, we had like 20-foot ceilings. So I'm like, okay, well, we can get a big tree. So we Justin gets there. And this saw that we've got is like pretty much busted. So he's trying to saw it. Isaiah's under there. He's holding the tree up. He gets the tree maybe halfway sawed, and it's got a trunk like this, you guys. This is how big this tree was. He gets the tree like halfway done, and then all of a sudden his phone goes off, and we're like, no, we are out at this Christmas tree farm out in the middle of nowhere, and I can't believe his phone actually worked. And he picks it up because he had to pick up. That was the rule. You cannot not pick up the work phone. So he picks it up. He's like, okay. He's like, yep, no worries. I'm on my way. And I'm like, oh. So I'm annoyed that he's got to go out. And this tree is half cut. We can't leave this tree, guys. So Justin gets under there and he's sawing. And Isaiah's like kicking at it. And Justin's kicking. We're trying to get this thing down. I'm pushing on it. So it winds up falling. And of course, it's not a smooth cut because we just like pushed it over. So it's like half roots, half chopped. It's got big, long, pokey things hanging out of it. And Justin's like, we got to get it on the car. We got to get it on the car. So we've got this Pathfinder, but it isn't like a super long extended one. It's just like a regular Pathfinder. So the boys get it up on the top of the car, and this thing is huge. This trunk is literally like, it had to be like this thick. So it's up on the car. It's weighing the car down, right? So we can't go too fast, but Justin has to get home because he has to be able to get his work van. So we get home and we pull into the driveway, and where he had parked, where his work van was, the tree was right here, and then the tree had gotten tangled up in like the upper ladder things that were on this truck. So because when he had pulled in, and without we had two choices. Either he can pull the van out and like maybe potentially hurt the tree, or he can like, we can get this tree off. And so we're climbing up on this work van and we're shoving this tree off. We're trying not to have the branches. And Isaiah's down there and I'm like, don't try to catch it, you're gonna get smashed. And we're like all just like in this crazy Christmas frenzy, right? So he finally shoves this tree off, and it's such a huge tree, guys. It lands onto the ground and it's like, boom, because it's so loud. He gets it off there and like some of the little branches break and fall off, but it's like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I gotta go, like I don't want to get fired, right? So he leaves, so he goes out on call. He's not home until like, I don't even know, like 1 a.m. or something. And I'm like, we gotta get this tree inside though, because if you live in the Pacific Northwest and it's that time of year, that sucker's gonna frost. That thing's gonna frost, and then it's gonna be soaking wet the next day because it's probably gonna rain. So he gets home, so it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and we're hauling this tree in our house, and it's just like scratch down the hallway. You guys, okay, I don't know if I can get this to work. We're going to see. I'm going to go into my Facebook and see if I can find a picture. So if I go, because I know that on your Facebook, you can go to filter by date. So let's see, what year was that? That must have been, had to be like December of 2012, maybe? Let's look. I'm just for giggles, just to see if I can see it. Let's see, December of 2012. It has to be like 2012. Let's see, maybe. I hope this pulls up because it would be so great. I don't know. Maybe 2013. Was it 2013? Trying to think of how old. Hey, Justin, can you hear me, honey? Oh, he must be in the other room. Let's see, we'll look at 2013. Okay, no, because that's the small family tree. So okay, so I know I'm like wasting time on here, but I'm really curious about this. Let's go to 2011. Let's go to 2011 and see if there's anything. Let's see. Oh man, I don't see anything. Gosh, look at how we used to post back in the day. That's terrible. Well, if I find this, let's see. I wonder if it's saved in my phone. If I find a picture of this, you guys, I will bring it on stream and show you. This tree is, I am not kidding you, 18 feet tall. And when I'm standing next to this tree in our living room, it was so tall. We had to put an extender ladder up to put ornaments on this thing. But it gets better because we also procrastinated taking it down. So in Justin's family, they always did this thing where they didn't take the Christmas tree down until Super Bowl. That was like their family thing. And then they would burn it outside. So he's like, we have to leave it up till Super Bowl. And I'm like, this thing's going to get really dry, honey. And he's like, I know, but I really want it up for Super Bowl and we'll take it down. I'm like, okay. So finally Super Bowl comes and we go to take down the ornaments, but they were so dry that all the ornaments are like scratching our arms. So we finally get all the ornaments off this. And I'm like, I'm never keeping my tree up this long ever again. I think this is what made us decide to use a fake tree from then on. So then he went to take it outside, and all those scratches that had happened going into the house were times 400 coming out of the house. And so I had to go along with spackle and repair stuff and repair like 200 scratches on this freaking doorway. I'm like, I will never do this again. I hate this Christmas tree. It was so ridiculous. Like, yeah, excuse me is right. All right, you guys, I'm going to head out of here then. Hopefully at some point I will find that picture and we will all have a good laugh. So, all right, you guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing on YouTube, and thanks for finding me on WN. One more reminder, make sure you find me on WN. Bookmark that show I've got coming up on the 7th. I'm going to be doing music teas and an Amazon gift card giveaway. And then also I'm going to pop in Shop the Sellers show tonight too and check it out. So make sure you check hers out too. All right, you guys, have a beautiful, wonderful Tuesday. I'll see you later. Thanks for coming in. Peace.